Welcome to Excel 2010 Business Math video number 28. Hey, if you want to download this workbook, Excel 2010 Business Math Chapter 3, or the PDFs or the PowerPoints, click on the link below the video. Hey, in this video, we're going to talk about how to solve for base. And I'm going to start over in my PowerPoints. I'm going to do some hand calculations here. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take this equation here, and I'd like to write it down here. So I'm going to use P equals B times R. This is the abbreviation that I use in the book also, right? So I'm going to write this down here. Now, in our first video, or whichever video it was that we talked first about this formula, I mentioned that that was in chapter 3.2. This is 3.3. We need to solve for this number here. And in the next chapter, we'll solve for rate. But the cool thing about this formula is if you know how to solve equations, which we technically don't learn until next chapter, chapter 4, all you need to do is memorize this one. And then from this one, you can solve to have B isolated on one side or R. Now notice P is isolated on one side. That means the P is all alone. And then on this side, it has the B and the R and the operator, right, multiplying. But what if we could isolate B on the side, on just all by itself, and then have P and put this R over here? Well, I'm going to go ahead and show you, even though we're technically not supposed to do this till next chapter. Here's how you do it. You go P equals B times R. Now, here's the rule, and we'll learn this next chapter. I'm going to tell you when you're doing something to an equation. And what's equation mean? The word equate means equal, right? So equation. If you do one thing, I'm not going to say this. If you do one thing to one side, like add, subtract, multiply, then you must do it to the other side also. Right, so we will technically learn that this next chapter, but no problem. With this little rule right here, this is our rule for equations, right? Here's our equation. That means if I add something to this side, if I also add it to this side, then the equal sign remains still true. Let's do a simple example. 2 equals 2. Well, what if I wanted to add 1 to each side? So I'd go like this. Is the equation still true, which means both sides are equals? Yes. Another example, that'll be example number 1 for this equation, right? Example number 2, what if we had 4 equals 4? Well, that's true. But what if we divided both sides by 2? What would we get? 4 divided by 2 is 2. Notice that in both of these examples, 1 and 2, if we do something, yeah, the numbers on both sides change, but the equal sign and the fact that both sides are equal remain true. So that's what we're going to do here. The trick is I want B all by itself. Well, what's R divided by R? It'd be 1, right? So check this out. If I go divide this side by R. Well, I just divided this whole side by R. That means I have to come over here and go bloop, divide that side by R. Well, what happens here? And I probably should do it with color graphics here. Right click. If only I knew the, no, that's not it. If only I knew the fast way to do this. Well, guess what? On this side right here, I can go R and R. Now, don't let the letters fool you. Imagine if it was a 2 on the top and a 2 on the top. Remember, this R is just standing in because we don't know what the rate is yet. Even if it was 0.1, 0.1, if there's a number in the top and a number in the bottom, you can cancel them. Well, what in the world does that do? That would leave, and I'm going to do the rest of it with red just because it's too slow to change it. That means what's left on this side is just a B. And what's left on this side? P divided by R. And that's our formula. So our formula that we're going to use in this video, every time we're solving for base, we're going to take the part and divide by the rate. All right. Now this is, again, next chapter, but this should be pretty exciting, right? That means if we don't like the way some equation is, if there's an equal sign, if we could think of something to do to both sides to change the equation so it's more useful. In this case, we went from this to this because we wanted to solve for b. So this is pretty exciting. This is power, right? This gives you the power to change your equation into something else. All right, let's go to our next slide here. And I guess I am going to have to change, let's see, ink. I'm going to change it back to black. OK, so here's our question, right? So right here, Ren Hoke earns a monthly interest rate of 0.005. Now remember, 0.01 would be 1%. So anytime we see something, there's zeros here and something there, that means it's less than 1%. And that makes sense. For a month, right, you're probably going to get less than 1%. Right? So he earns a monthly interest rate of that. If he earns $251 in interest for the month, what was the amount invested for the month? No problem. Check this out. We're going to do step 1 of solving word problems. Well, let's just read it. Ren Hoke earns a monthly interest rate of, boom. So we know our monthly interest rate, right, equals 0.005. That's actually 0.5%, right? And let's see, what's our next thing? If he earns interest for the month, OK, so interest earned for 1 month. I'm going to say in dollars, right? And we can put it over here, 251. What was the amount invested for the month? So invest amount. So the way interest works is you put like $100 in the bank, right? And then at the end of the month, they give you $1 interest or something. So this was amount invested for month. Notice I use the word month in each one of these. Later in our finance chapter, it's always important to list the amount of time. Oh, we don't know. All right, now let's think about this. We did a problem like this. I think we did it last video, right? We had a rate, some amount we earned, and then we knew the amount we started with, right? So let's see if we can look through these and list which one's the base, which one's the part, which one's the rate. Well, this is easy. This one's the rate, right? Well, what's this? Oh, this is the whole amount we have in the bank, sitting in the bank, right? And since we have to multiply a number less than 1 times the original amount, the part, this right here, is always going to be smaller. So this is the part. And then that would make this the base, right? It makes sense that if you're putting something in the bank, that's the big part. Oh, I mean, and then the amount of interest we get is less than a big part. I mean, it'd be great if they gave us a 100% interest rate. Oh, that would be great. All right, so I'm also going to put our formula. Base equals part time divided by rate. All right, now step 2, solve. I'm just going to plug the numbers in. Oh, we don't know the base, so I'm going to go brrrr. And we know the part, 251, and we know the rate. And so we just go ahead and do that. And I'm going to switch over to Excel. And I'm just going to use a blank sheet. I'm just going to use it as a calculator. Later, we'll do the same word problem. I'm just going to put the number 251.005. And our formula is take the part divided by the rate. Now, here's something really important about division. Anytime the denominator, that is less than 1, it means the answer will be bigger than the numerator. You can write that down. Hit rewind, right? Anytime the denominator is less than 1, the answer, the quotient, the result, will be greater than the numerator. So 50,020. So that's our answer. I'm going to come back over here. So I'm going to write 50,020. So it's 50,200. I think that's what it was, right? So 50,200. Now I'm all completely lost. Whoop. There we go. All right, so step 3, we write it in answer, our answer in words. I say, if Ren earned 251 bucks at 0.005 interest rate, then the amount invested. Whoops, I have such bad handwriting. That's why the amount invested was 50,200. All right, so that's our first example for solving for base. Let's go over to Excel, this workbook right here. All right, if your payroll deduction tax paid was 90 bucks and the tax rate was 12%, what was the gross pay for the paycheck? All right, so we come here, and our first bit was, so the tax paid was 90 bucks. And the tax rate, so we know the tax rate was, and I'm going to format as I type. That percent means I'm putting the number 0.12 in the cell. What was the gross pay for the paycheck? So I'm going to put gross pay. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to label all this. I'm going to call this the part, this the rate, and this the base. All right, the formula I'm going to use is base equals part divided by rate. And then the goal is solve for, gross pay base. All right, now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say equals this. And I'm going to copy it down. I'm going to say equals this. Oh, here, watch this. I'm going to format this first. Control-Shift-4. Excuse me. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say equals this, because that'll get us the formatting. Equals this. And I'm going to put a little green right here. Actually, all of this is green. These are all formulas. And this is the one I'm going to solve for. Equals the part divided by the rate. I'm just looking up here, part divided by rate. 750 bucks. Now that we have more than one formula, we can check this, right? Because our formula here was base equals part-time rate. But I could check using part equals base times rate now, because I have everything. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can solve for part equals 750 times that. Ding, 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 ding. It's checked out. Okay, now we write our answer in words. If the tax paid was 90 bucks and the tax rate was 12%, then the gross pay would be 750. Probably misspelled a lot of things. F7. Okay, so it looks like I didn't misspell it. All right, so there's another example. Hey, let's look at another example. Remember, we're solving for base. Now, this one's kind of a cool one, because what we will do is there's some words here, and this is what you would see on a test, not necessarily out in the working world. Let's just read it. 18.5% of blank circuits is 370 circuits. Now, watch this. I could just translate this directly into this whole English sentence with a little dash there, into a math expression. So watch this. 18.5%, well, that's a number, so I'm going to write 18.5% space. What does the word of translate into in math symbols? Multiplication, space. And then I have a blank, so I'm going to put question mark. I don't know what that is. So some rate times blah. But that's the amount of circuits. So I'm going to put the amount I don't know. Is translate. So this is all one thing here, right? So I put the amount, but I put question mark. Circuits, that's the unit. What type of thing? And what does is translate into? If you remember back all the way to chapter 1, is equal sign. And then 370 circuits again. Right? So that's if we can just directly translate this, we could then like fiddle our way around with it. We know that it's some rate times some amount. Oh, and since the number, this is a percentage, or it could be a decimal or fraction. But there we have it. That times that. That must be the base. This must be the part. I'm going to put that right there. Now I'm going to look at this 18.5% and come over here to a cell. I know that 18.5 is the same as 18.5. And I know if I'm going to convert this from a percentage to a decimal, I need to slide 1, 2 to the left. So that'll become 0.185. Right, so now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to say this is the rate. Whoops, not rate. And this is 0.185. Control Enter. And I'm going to format this. We saw earlier how when you have an integer part and a fraction part in a percentage, you just record your mixed number and fraction number formatting and add a percentage symbol. So right here, Control 1. Come down to Custom. And I have the power to show this however I want. Pound, that's for the integer. Question mark, slash question mark. And the only trick is, yeah, this is going to show up as 1/5 because it's trying to show in fraction form 0.185. But we're going to add a percentage symbol, and it will show it as a fractional percentage. Totally cool. Click OK. So our rate, our circuits, this is, I'm going to say base circuits. And we don't know. And then we have our part. And we know that part, that is 370. All right, I'm going to do my formula. And that's going to be, oh yeah, base equals part divided by rate. And then I'm going to put my goal over here because I ran out of room. So goal. My goal is to calculate base circuits. Now, you know, some of this seems silly, like so over repetitive, we can do it all in our head. But when we're learning in a basic class like this, if you always do it like this, and when you get to the hard ones where it's very complicated, the fact that you have this procedure will make it so much easier. All right, step 2, let's go ahead and calculate. Well, I'm going to do my same little trick, equals the rate. And I'm going to copy it down, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say equals this, because I definitely want that formatting. Equals this. And now I'm going to put my little green cell right here. In fact, this is all green. But this is the one we're solving for. So equals, oh yeah, the part, down arrow, divided by up arrow. Part divided by rate. Oh, what happened there? Oh yeah, we know by now. These cell references are going and suck in the format, but we are not tricked. We're going to go up and just apply general. 2,000. So the base circuits were 2,000. Now let's check. I love this part. Once we get to this chapter 3 into our third section here, now we can just use our other formula. Part equals base times rate. And so the part, let's see if we can solve for this right here and get 370. I'm going to say this times this. I think since we use this one first, it'll suck that number formatting. Ah, it didn't. I'm going to clear that, Control-Shift tilde or general. I'm going to try that again. I'm learning here too. So times this. Yep, in both cases it got it. Oh, darn. All right, so general, and there's our number. Oh, we got it. So we checked it by multiplying these two, and we got 370. So our answer is going to be the base number of circuits is 2,000. And that's enough, but we could also say given that part was 370 and the rate was 18. All right, the base number of circuits is 2,000. Period would be fine. But I put comma given that the part was 370 and the rate was 18.5%. All right, here's that Ren-Hoek one. We did this by hand. So the important to put the time period when you get to problems like this. Monthly interest rate. And this time it's given as 0.5%. Last time we saw it as 0.005. So let's think about it. 1 divided by 2, right? Well, we know that's not going to work, so I'm going to put an apostrophe. And 1 divided by 2 will get 0.5, right? And then we have to slide the decimal, so it would be 0.005. All right, so let's go ahead and put that over here, 0.005. And I'm going to format this, Control-1. Number, we're going to go custom, and just question mark slash question mark and percentage symbol. That's so cool, so we can do fractional percentages. All right. Monthly interest earned. It's going to be 251. Control Enter. Control Shift 4 to format it. I don't think I spelled that right. Just a little spell check. And then finally, amount invested for the month. It's important to have that month in all of those periods there. All right, and that's the question mark. Formula I'm going to use is base equals part divided by rate. And my goal okay, so a find amount invested for month. All right, let's just go ahead equals this, and I'm going to copy it down, Control Enter. Just getting those labels up there. Equals this, I definitely want the formatting, equals this. So maybe we don't want the formatting. Maybe we should clear it here so it doesn't do that. So equals, and we're going to take our part divided by our rate. Didn't do that there. Okay, so there's some mystery going on here. Well, the bottom line for us is if we don't see the right formatting, we're never going to get tricked. We're just going to apply general. All right, so there is the amount. We can go ahead and check it. I'm going to check it with part equals rate times base. Equal, well, where is the part? I'm sorry, the base. Here it is. Times, where is the rate? There it is. Better get 251. Ding, ding, ding. All right, and then we write our answer in words. Ren had 50,200 invested for the month. Oops. Earned a rate of 0.5% and interest of 251. It doesn't know Ren. Ignore all. All right, so we saw 3 problems in Excel, how to solve for the base using the formula part divided by rate, and then we saw some things by hand. Now let's scroll down here. That is the end of section 3.3, so you can do homework there. Next video, we'll do 3.4, and we'll see how to solve for rate. See you next video.